dear friend, how are you holding up? Are you doing okay? Are you making it okay through this thing? It's tough. I'm telling you right now, I am running into more friends of mine. I think I think that are kind of losing their mind. I really do. I think they are losing their minds over what's going on right here. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's the weirdest thing in the world. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why. These are good folks, good people, and good. I just wonder sometimes what is the matter with them. Maybe it's the subject matter. Maybe it's tough. Maybe it's tough. Now, my friends, let us begin. I first of all ask you always to let me know. I hope I'm coming in loud and clear, because every now and then somebody will say, "Hey, we can't hear you," and we got to go through that stuff again. So just somebody give me a cinco para cinco, and we're okay. We're ready to go. Thank you, Lapse Evident. Thank you so much for that. We got a lot to talk about. Let me ask you one more thing too, if you don't mind me asking. And and please be honest with me, because I know you're honest and I appreciate it. And I'm honest with you, sometimes to a fault. I recognize that fact. But do you think that maybe sometimes we're doing these things were kind of too long? Do you think maybe they're too long? Do you think that maybe this is a little too long tonight? Do you think over an hour is enough? Is that a right amount enough time? I'm serious. I don't know. I've never asked you before. I start talking and I don't even realize. Next thing you know, it's an hour, and it's like, wow. I mean, try doing that sometimes. It's really it's a testament to my incredible talent. But I'm just curious as to what you think. Are you sure about that? Do you think maybe it's like too much? Maybe it's just too much for you. Because let me tell you something. It's tough. It's very, very tough. It's horrible sometimes to go through all this stuff, go through this nonsense. It's terrible. But you know what? I'm going to just go until I think we've had enough, because I have a lot to talk about tonight. And I think there's still a lot of good news and a lot of great stuff in a way that I don't think a lot of people are speaking to you, because I don't think you're getting the straight poop, so to speak. So anyway, dear friends, sit back, have a great and glorious time for this Monday. Is this Monday? No, it's Tuesday. What am I saying? Tuesday evening version of this thing of ours. But first, dear friends, this word from our great sponsor. According to Dr. Stephen Gundry, a famous cardiothoracic surgeon, nutrition expert, and health advocate, you should seriously consider high-quality olive oil as a part of your routine, whether it's taking a shot of it daily or keeping a bottle of it in your bathroom medicine cabinet. According to Dr. Gundry, some olive oils are so powerful, it may only take a few tablespoons a week to see incredible health benefits. So how can you tell between an olive oil that can be a health booster and one which really isn't up to par? In an effort to answer that question, Dr. Gundry has decided to take a stand and release his personal research and findings. This video has gone viral since its release, and it's important you see it so you can start benefiting immediately. You can watch the video right now by going to getolive1.com/Lionel or by clicking the link in the description box included below. That's getolive1.com/Lionel, or just click on the link in the description box. People who have taken his advice have shared their results with him, saying the olive oil they bought after learning this simple rule has helped change their lives. Make sure you go to getolive1.com/Lionel or click on the link in the description box below in this video. My dear friends, I did a piece on my private channel called "Elections Are Warfare Calculated to Affect the Mind and Heart of the Targeted." I thought that's pretty doggone good. And it's the God's honest truth. This is warfare. This is warfare. It's not a popularity contest. It's not a plebiscite. It's not any of that stuff. This is warfare. And I love it. I love this more than you could ever. I've always loved it. I love the fact that this is, yes, it's politics, and yes, it's history, yes, and yes, yeah. But it's also psychology. And it's also trying to figure out, how do we fit into this? How do we fit into all this stuff? Where do we fit in? I was watching an incredible interview with our good friend. Well, I never met him, but John Mearsheimer, who was just incredible, speaking with Piers Morgan. And he was talking to Piers Morgan, and I'm telling you, I thought he just destroyed him. Again, I think it was a subsequent. I think it was a subsequent one. I don't know why he did it. I don't know why Piers does this. I don't think he really understands. I don't think he gets it. Or maybe he figures, look, I get the numbers and that's all I care about. I don't care whether I'm right or wrong. I kind of do. See, I wouldn't like to be made to be made a fool of. That's kind of not my style. I'm kind of weird about that. That's not my thing. I don't like that. It's not my story, as it were. But it was so interesting. And he was talking about Israel and Ukraine and the first thing I want to do before we go into it, I want you to understand something. I want you to try your best to use and to find yourself more proficient in the world of realism and not the way things should be. Don't waste my time with talks about morality and all this kind of jazz. Tell me about the way things are, not the way things should be. Not the way things are, but the way things are. That's all. And also put yourself in the position of those involved. Okay. Here's something interesting. There's a guy I've known for a long time, and I've kind of liked him. His name is Stephen Baldwin. He's one of the Baldwin brothers. And I've known Steve Areno for, I don't know how many years. Good egg. We kind of chat every now and then. And a couple of times I always tell him, I said, you say things that are, I don't know how to take him. This is Justin Bieber's father-in-law. And I don't know the first thing about it, but I know that the Baldwins, Alec and all this, I think they're kind of an interesting lot. And recently, I don't know if you've been watching old Steve Areno, but he's been saying some stuff that he sounds kind of crazy, but not really. I don't think he's crazy at all, but I think it's part of a shtick. It's part of a work. It's part of a thing in which he comes across kind of as he's a bit of a loon, but a lovable lout, as it were. And he's been talking. He was on that Patrick Ben-David show, which I have a hard time watching for reasons. It's just me. It's not him. It's a good show. But Stephen has been on saying some things, and I want you to listen to this. We're going to watch it, and then I want you to watch it again, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
You have heard the expression, the calm before the storm. There is always a calm before the storm, but then so is there another calm after the storm.
I have no idea what he's talking
There's
about.
a calm and then a storm and then another calm.
Wow.
And in that latter calm is the preparation for the next storm.
Okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up, buddy. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. Now, I that reminds me of Killer Carl Cox. That reminds me of Purple Haze, Mark Lewin, Maniac Mark Lewin, Abuda Dean, George the Animal Steel. The whole notion of the work being, the crazy kind of. But in this, I happen to catch this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Robert Penna. Thank you, Robert. Welcome, dear friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Have some crumb cake. Make a seat for Robert. You're at the front of the class. He talks about this business as to Hollywood and who's doing what. I tried to watch this again. Patrick Ben-David. It's okay. It's just not, I'm just not one of these big. I'm just very selective with my time. Heard one of the best stories that deconstructed virtually everybody, including Jordan Peterson, Candace Owens, Eric Weinstein. I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of the best. I loved it. It was a lovable indictment about how all these people, they're lovable, but full of it. And you have to understand this. You must recognize this fact. If you don't, you miss the beauty of this. You have to understand kind of the shtick, the work, how this thing works. But going back to Steve Areno, he brought some good thing about how evil Hollywood is, and yes, and that's true. And I believe, again, I don't like the word evil because I don't believe in the notion of evil. There is a collective morality or lack thereof that is proven to be problematic for a lot of people. I don't think it's evil. I don't like that word evil, but it's very interesting. And he talks about this, and I would love to talk about it. It's like, now, your son-in-law, Justin Bieber, what they did. I've got some stuff of, I didn't want to show you. I don't know if I can even show you this thing that Katy Perry, it was unfair what they did, touching him. And I don't know where his parents were. I don't know what the story is regarding him. And I don't know. Forgive this. What in the hell? I hate these little reaction things. I don't know if Steve Areno was on the Bieber payroll. I don't know. Imagine that. Hey, can you help me in the old man? And okay, because Bieber I don't know what this guy did. I don't know if he ever had an album. I don't know what he did. He was a kid doing something, and then later on, but it's very interesting. So I just want to throw that one out at you. I came across that for no particular reason. Stephen, as you know, is a born again, which is fine. And he's into the cold fish, which is fine. I find that to be fascinating, which is fine. I got no problem with that. I got no beef with that. That's terrific. By the way, a little programming note. I was on today on the show Redacted with Natalie. We were talking about the whole Diddy thing, which is just fantastic. That story is so deep. I've got two videos dropping on that at about 9 on this channel and on the Lionel Legal channel. Because, I could talk about that one forever. That is there. It is so wonderfully beautiful in terms of the amount of information that is available. It is without peer. In any event, dear friends. Now, something else. Let's talk about this. Every now and then you ask yourself, why does Kamala and these other people do sort of things? Oh, you saw me on a Reacted. Natalie didn't look uncomfortable. I don't think it was looked uncomfortable at all. I think the subject matter is something that is maybe problematic to a lot of people for reasons I don't know and I can't explain. I absolutely love it. I think she's extremely tuned into what's going on. So anyway, like it. I always enjoy it. It's a very easy platform just to speak, very conversational in any event. But one of the things I don't understand is Kamala and how they allow. Did you see this latest with her husband, Doug, the first guy or whatever he's called? You want to see something terrible? You want to see this? Watch this horrible.
Sometimes I'd hear "Where's Kamala? What's Kamala been up to? What is she doing?" And I'd take just take a deep breath because, she's been doing a lot. She's been doing a lot of things that are solving problems that matter to you and the rest of this country.
Look how
she's dealing with the thorniest national security issues in the Situation Room and thorniest issues in the Oval Office with the president.
Imagine her dealing with somebody thorniest. Can you believe that? Who was it who said, "Hey, let's put Doug out there"? I think it's Doug. Wait for Doug to go. Doug? You're kidding me. Dear God. horrid. It's beyond horrid. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's something I've never seen before. Linda Hazlitt says, never enough for these times. You help me sane. It helped me keep my sense of humor. Love you and appreciate you. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Sanity is the best policy. And very good. May I also tell you, a woman that, or a person, but it happens to be a woman, who I would put on.
We'll continue to focus on both.
This is Caroline Levitt, I believe her name is. She is Trump's main spokesperson. She is excellent.
The president will continue to focus on both immigration and the economy. As we know, both issues are equally as important to voters across the country. But certainly, the American people are suffering from the abysmal economic policies of the Harris-Biden administration over the past 4 years. And President Trump is offering them hope. He's offering them a real plan to put more money back into their pockets. We were in Georgia today, where he had a raucous applause with a crowd of thousands of people as he said, we are going to make America wealthy again. Wages have not kept up with the pace of inflation. Kamala Harris is promising to raise taxes. President Trump is promising to cut taxes. That is welcome news for people and families across the country who are struggling. He has a first-term economic agenda to run on, a record of success, and Americans remember that. And that's why he's trusted on this issue by more than 20 points in literally every single major poll.
I would have her front and center. I think she is superb in getting out the message. She needs that. We need to have more women who aren't trying to wow you with their imagined pulchritude. There is another woman who I think was fantastic. I would have her on my cabinet, though she's predisposed as the governor of Arkansas. And I think Sarah Huckabee Sanders is nothing but superb. Let me try it again.
There are things I think that you did that helped.
Now, by the way, see what I'm doing? I like this. And I want this indoors. I want this private. I want this to be conversational. I want this to be warmer, mic'd well, show a tone. No sarcasm, no making fun of people, no, but just really, this is the stuff which I want Trump to do, and I love it. Watch how good he is, and watch how excellent she is.
Mr. President, one of the other things I think that you did that helped protect the American worker as much as anything else, and also make our country and our community safer, was you actually did something about the border. Just this month, there was a woman in my home state of Arkansas who was killed by an illegal immigrant who was drunk driving that was deported during your administration and came back under this administration because they have failed to protect our country. It's one of the great threats that we face that you actually did something about. Tell us what you will do on day one to help protect our country.
So we're going to be, day one, we're doing two things. Closing the border and baby drill. Two things. We're going to get down the prices. Thank you. Nice people. I like this crowd. I like this crowd. No, you know what? You're smart people. So, Sarah, thank you.
I love this motif. I like this style. It's different. It's not standing at the podium. She is excellent.
So, over the last couple of years, I've been talking about the border. I got elected in 2016 because of the border, but that border was peanuts compared to what this border is. That border was like a safe border compared, and I did it. I did a great job, and it also includes drugs. Came to much lower. Look, unless you have the death penalty for drug dealers, you'll never get rid of the drug problem. Put that through your head, okay? Put that through your head. And I don't know if our country's ready for it. When I was with President Xi, and again, until COVID, I had a great relationship. Once that happened, I really didn't want a relationship because $60 trillion, millions of dead people all over the world. I was not exactly thrilled with him. But before that, I had a great relationship. And I said, do you have a drug problem? No, we have no drug problem. Oh, how come? Death penalty, immediate. I said, what does that mean, immediate? Immediate. We have what's called a quick trial. You know what a quick trial is? Like in one day, the trial is over. Over here, it'll be 25 years. They'll get some nice liberal lawyer and they'll have it tied up for 25 years. The guy dies of old age. So, but they have a death penalty. In Singapore, they have a death penalty. In a lot of countries, they have a death penalty. You sell drugs because the average drug dealer kills during his or her life 500 people. The average one. The big ones, much more. But when you hear that, when people start to hear that, and I set up blue ribbon committees, I put, nice people, dilettantes from New York.
You see how much better this is? You see the different mood. He's not at the lectern. He's not lecturing. I mean, that's fine too. But I like this. It'd be even better if it was indoors and quiet.
And from Los Angeles, people that know nothing about drugs, and they're dealing with very smart people. These dealers are smart as hell. They're tough as hell.
And by the way, one more thing. Imagine Kamala trying this.
And they make a fortune. And if you don't have the death penalty for drug dealers, you're just wasting your time. Now, we can keep it down, and we can do better than we're doing now, and a lot better than we're doing now, because what's happening now is out of control. But we had the lowest human trafficking, mostly in women, I hate to say, mostly in women, but we had the lowest human trafficking in 32 years.
That's
true.
You
know my favorite chart, the chart I put down. When I look to the right, that'll be my all-time favorite chart in history. That was basically a chart showing what a good job I did on immigration. But even if it showed I did a bad job on immigration, it will be my all-time favorite chart, because I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't look over. Let me see that chart. That was not good. My all-time favorite chart. Blue, yellow, red. It was beautiful. Oh, there it is. There it is. That was good. These guys are very good back. I didn't expect.
Now, a couple of things here. First, somebody said, ask whether Sarah Huckabee Sanders was on Ozempic. She had thyroid cancer, and apparently right now is cancer-free. She's successfully convalesced from such, and that might have been she had some weight loss. I don't know, but I think she is superb. I would make sure she is somewhere, if it's at all possible. I think she was the best White House spokesperson ever, compared to this Karine Jean-Pierre, who was just cannot at all. You can't even approximate how horrid she is. Now, let's do this is something important too. This is called memory lane. And you see, we are under attack right now. And listen to old Uncle Lenny tell you this. The amount of limitations to your free speech that you will experience in your immediate future will blow your mind. And it's happening, and nobody's doing anything about it. We saw what's happening in the UK and in London. We saw what's happening with them, and it defies any kind of comprehension whatsoever. It's just horrid. Thank God for Elon Musk. Thank God for Elon Musk. Some people say, I don't trust him. God bless. Thank God for Elon Musk. He's the only one. He's the only one who's even remotely doing this. They are trying to limit what you're saying. If you were to have any form of any kind of constructive criticism as to what's going on regarding the Middle East and Gaza, you are, quote, either anti-Israel or anti-Semitic. This is horrible. And we're going through this, Now, I want you to listen very carefully. And I want you to notice something. And let's see if you can follow this. This was in 2019. Forgive me, I don't know. This was the old Kamala saying, well, the new one too, saying whatever she is told to say. See if you see the irony of this.
And I just want to say that I was surprised to hear that you did not agree with me that on this subject of what should be the rules around corporate responsibility for these big tech companies, when I called on Twitter to suspend Donald Trump's account, that you did not agree, and I would urge you to join me. Because
she wants to shut down Donald, or then his Twitter account, because of what he said. Now remember very carefully of what he said, because after all, we don't like what he said, and we have no problem in shutting down what he said, the First Amendment notwithstanding.
Because here we have Donald Trump, who has 65 million Twitter followers, and is using that platform as the president of the United States to openly intimidate witnesses, to threaten witnesses, to obstruct justice. And he and his account should be taken down. We saw in El Paso that shooter in his manifesto was informed by...
Now, wait a minute. Now, listen, do you see where I'm going with this? Now she's worried about shooter manifestos and shooters being, by the way, this is my Donald Trump pen. You can't see this, but shooters being motivated, being encouraged, being inspired by the words of others, but not the words of her fellow Democrats.
How Donald Trump uses that platform. And this is a matter of corporate responsibility. Twitter should be held accountable and shut down that site. It is a matter of safety and corporate accountability.
Thank you. Shut down that site. Now, you ready for this? Sound familiar? This is the greatest. Watch this.
Contempt for the Constitution of the United States. He is dangerous and unfit.
Do you know what that is on the left? Do you recognize what that is? That is the note, or the, not manifesto, but the note made by the putative assassin of the greatest president of my lifetime. These were his words. Okay? These were his words. Now, using her logic, well, do the math.
He has contempt for the Constitution of the United States. He is dangerous and unfit. That is immoral. The nation, the republic, would never survive another Trump term.
Now, isn't this funny? Follow the logic here. They are upset with the fact that what Donald Trump may say could be used, or is thought to be used or served as a form of an encourager, something that, dare I say, involves the suggestion of the inspiration and the incitement of negative activity and criminal activity and the like. What she and the Democrats have said, and everybody on every platform, every liberal or leftist or Democratic platform and proxy for the shadow government and the like, has done nothing but call Donald Trump a threat to democracy, threat to society. And people like Maxine Waters and others have said, if you see him, do not go back and let him know. They've said this. How is it that they don't follow their own words? How is it? Nelson A, by the way, says Kamala is not going to the Al Smith dinner. The last time someone declined it 40 years ago, they lost the election. That was, of course, Walter Mondale, which is very interesting. Walter Mondale did it, and he did it. And by the way, Mondale lost 49 states the last time someone skipped. So isn't that something? Doesn't that tell you everything? Doesn't that put everything into perspective? Remember this. Now, my friends, another thing, too, I want you to remember. First, and I did this yesterday, and I did this far too late. I have two wonderful sponsors I want to provide you information with, and you know them. The first is preparewithlionel.com. I love these people. They've been wonderful to me, and we've been wonderful to them. Preparewithlionel.com. This is the premier emergency food source and site and production company, bar none. Preparewithlionel.com. And right now, if you go and avail yourself of such, you will enjoy this, I don't know how long this is going to last, a 4-week emergency food kit where you can save $50. Unbelievable. And don't forget, our other friend is mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. The deals change every single day. Now they've got a blowout sale. Standard MyPillow Limit 10, $15, $14.98. The $25 extravaganza, MyPillow bed sheets, $24.98. The My Towels 6-piece towel set, $25. Mattress toppers, sandals, slippers. It goes on and on and on. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or MyPillow.com/Lionel. Okay, you got that? Good. Now, friends, I want to make sure you maintain your sanity, your sanctity, your equipoise, your equanimity. And I want to thank Robert Penna and Linda Hazlitt and Nelson A. for your absolute love and your respect and your support. I thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to wish you a great and glorious day. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. She's got you should see the latest stuff that's coming up that will blow your mind. Her take on Diddy. She knows the case better than anyone. And it's not just about some rapper or some impresario who's busted, but something far more insidious and far more dangerous. All right, dear friends, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And don't forget, until then, as we always leave you with this, remember this valedictory, this sayonara. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. That.